A or .b. Okay, hey guys, I'm planning to create a massive GMB listing for one brand. Am I going to use different Google accounts for each city? Oh, and I am going to use different Google accounts for each city. I think about buying accounts from bulkpva.com and registering all the GMBs with those accounts. Do you guys recommend doing that, or do some GMB listings get deleted because of the fake accounts? Okay, I've got no problem doing that. In fact, that's typically how I do stuff. Like when I'm registering my own GMBs, I will do that. I will use phone verified, double phone verified accounts that I got from Bulk PVA, which is MetroBiz or whatever. I buy a lot of accounts from him. In fact, we were just talking about a bunch of YouTube accounts for Video Carpet Bomb, the tool that we use for Video Carpet Bomb. That's where we get all of our YouTube accounts. It's the same provider. All right. Here's the thing about that, DA or duh. I'm not sure what to call you. What I recommend if you're going to do that, first of all, this is assuming that you are going to be, claiming and registering the Google My Business Verifies underneath these Gmail accounts. That means you're going to be doing like the actual registration of the GMBs and then verifying them, or you or your team or whatever. If you buy done for you Google My Business GMB verified services, which like we now sell inside of MGYB, our store, then you don't need any Gmail accounts because we actually produce that for you, right? You get that included with the GMB verification. A new Gmail account gets created and all that. I'm just telling you that. I'm assuming you're going to do it on your own, but I just want everybody to understand you don't need to provide a Gmail account if you're buying the verified GMB profiles from us. Okay. That said, yes, you can use the bulk PVA accounts. Here's how you safeguard those accounts from termination. When you get them back from the provider, okay, I highly recommend that you use something like Browsio or Ghost Browser, and you add each individual Gmail account to its own profile or instance, its own browser instance, right? So in Browsio, you call that a profile or a project, I think it is. And so each individual Gmail account now will have its own browsing history, right? So you want to segregate or separate all of them so that you're not just, for example, using your Firefox browser, for example, to log into one account, set up a GMB, then log out, clear cache and cookies, and then log in again with another GMB or another Google account and do it all over again, because that looks very suspicious. And because those were purchased Gmail accounts, if you do anything suspicious with them, especially initially, then they will get terminated or you'll get locked out of them. But if you log in or log in for the first time, even out from the same IP, you don't even need proxies, guys. You can use the same IP, but just have Browsio or Ghost Browser open, log into each Gmail account from a separate browsing instance, and don't clear cache or cookies for that ever, right? Every time you log back into that account, it should be through the same browser profile in either Browsio or Ghost Browser or comparable tool, because those browser profiles contain all the browsing history, all the websites that were visited, all that kind of stuff. So it starts to build a profile, which is natural. That's normal. That's what people in the real world do, right? They don't clear cache and cookies after every browsing instance, right? So that's number one, is make sure that you're doing that so that you're constantly accruing additional history and profile data for that particular account. All right. So that's number one. Number two, change the password, because not that MetroBiz does this, but I know that when I've bought accounts in the past, and maybe it's not intentional, maybe it's on accident, but I know that sometimes the accounts, if you don't change the passwords, they will get resold. I'm not saying he does that. I'm just saying I've bought enough accounts over the years that I know that one of the first things you need to do is change the password. Okay. One other thing you can do is if you have domain like webmails accounts for, just various domains that you have, is you can set up domain email accounts, webmail accounts through cPanel that you use as the recovery email for your Google Gmail accounts. If you're buying Gmail accounts, you should set up your own recovery email, and when you first log in, change the password and change the recovery email. Okay, and that's pretty much it. If you do those three things, then you should be able to use those purchased phone verified accounts absolutely fine for creating and claiming GMB profiles. Okay. Good question though.